Great. Good morning,
Yes.
Dr. Andrew B. Campbell, better known as Dr. ABC. Welcome. I'm so
Good
excited
morning.
about this interview to welcome you to the AERA Caribbean and African Studies and Education SIG. You know, we are doing this on behalf of the members of the SIG to just share a little bit about our experiences. So,
Yes.
I will give you the
Yes.
opportunity to introduce
Yes.
yourself and to tell the audience how did you get to be involved in the casing?
All right. So of course, my name is Andrew B. Campbell, Dr. ABC, and I've been in the KSIG for since 2011. 2011. And I heard about the KSIG from being a graduate student at University of Toronto. And once I was in, my proposals writing stage, I realized that almost everyone in the university was excited about going to AERA. That was like the best thing ever to go to AERA. And then I started immediately to research on the SIG. And of course, everybody went to the school administration SIG. And then I deliberately sought out Black groups in AERA. And I came across the case and I was like, this is home. This is where I belong. And so I didn't hesitate to join the SIG, and I presented the first presentation at ARA was in the KSIG. And I support the KSIG every single year because it's a sense of belonging that is important for me, especially because I don't live in Jamaica anymore. It's amazing. It's home. The KSIG is home.
Oh, I love how you say that. The KSIG is home. It really is home for us beginning researchers, even more mature and advanced researchers. And we get this chance to, as you say, meet with other Caribbean researchers as we go to the,
Yes.
yes, that's so wonderful. Now, Andrew, I don't know if you remember, but I met you first in Jamaica in 2011 at a conference, and you were involved in presenting your research. Um,
Yes.
Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about your research. What does your research entail?
Wonderful. So remember when you met me, of course, I think I was researching on teacher performance evaluation. So I have not moved on from there because there are many areas that I want to still look at. I want to look at self-evaluation. That's an area I want to venture in, looking at self-evaluation, because I see a lot of power in that, how we can grow as individuals. So I'm doing that. I'm also presently doing some research on online, and not because of the pandemic, but I started some research at the University of West Indies Open Campus years ago, and I want to continue that. But right now, as we speak, I'm focusing on working with Black LGBTQ issues. I'm doing some research on Black LGBTQ issues, especially in Jamaica, how LGBTQ people are presented in the media. And I'm also looking at culturally relevant and responsive pedagogy. And I'm doing that with a professor here in Canada. And I'm also working on a piece what racialized professors in white institutions, looking at how we navigate and disrupt and challenge oppressive practices in anti-Black racism in predominantly white spaces. So I'm doing quite a bit of research, is all embedded in equity, diversity, and inclusion. And I'm really loving the learning that I'm gaining from my research. I'm loving it.
Could you tell us a little bit about that learning that you're gaining?
So for me, that learning it's going to come from one thing right now, and it's the collegiality. So every single research I'm working on right now. So I'm working on a piece, as I said, with cultural relevant pedagogy with one graduate student. I'm working on the racialized professor with another professor. I'm working on how we teach research and what we call research dialogue with two other professors. And I did the piece with Black leaders with another professor from Queen's University. This learning for me is every time we do a research meeting, Joyanne, I'm being honest when I tell you, I look forward to those meetings. The conversations, I wish I could just, and I'm honest, I'm thinking about doing that. I've been actually said it to one of my researchers. I said, I want to record. Just start, just record the meeting, the entire meeting. And I think I want to use that data for something. The collegiality, the conversation, the tensions, the conversations we have in those research meetings is powerful. The writing is a definite product of those research. And, you know, especially my last writing, I'm doing a journal right now with Professor Ardivan, who is also in the MT program here at OISE and works at Wilfred Laurier as well. And we are two racialized professors. And when we walk out of those 2-hour meetings that we have, it's powerful. Like, we have had emotional moments, powerful moments, like moments of challenging and disruption, and that you'd be amazed. And that for me is the learning. So I'm learning more and more about the value of peer feedback, and I'm learning more and more the value of other voices in your research.
I think that is a very, very important point that you make, because I remember when I was embarking on my own research journey, you think that you have to do it alone. And for the last 10 years since my first AERA, I have been collaborating with loads of people. And as you say, when you look back, it's all collaborative, and it's so much more powerful having done the journey with a lot of other researchers.
I have to add something to that, Joyanne, and I want to say this to all our young new researchers out there. Somehow, as you said, Joyanne, we thought that research is you doing this masterpiece by yourself. I'm telling you, and this is going to be very, very honest, because you know the kind of person I am. I have found a new love and passion for research, and I can credit that to working with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. In the last year, I am collaborating with 6 different persons on four pieces. And I'm telling you, I am excited at the learning. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm going to do it any other way than this.
Yes.
Yeah, this is literally, I'm seeking people to collaborate with.
I quite agree. It really adds that, you know, energy and joy to the research journey when you have those. I have a couple of weekly conversations that you set in stone, and even if sometimes the weekly conversation is around, you know, just what have you done, that work in terms of working with others, building not just that professional capability, but also that personal dimension. But what kind of research do you do? Is it qualitative, quantitative, mixed method?
Qualitative. So I'm focused on qualitative research in all my research that I'm presently. I'm focused on qualitative research. And I'm very excited also to say lately I've been working on autoethnography, and I'm finding it amazing. I'm finding that autoethnography quite amazing. I'm doing quite a bit of reading on the method itself, and we are writing piece, myself and one of the professors, we're writing a piece on it for a journal, and it's amazing learning how to tell your story in such a way with rigor, but with a level of honesty that is not seen in a lot of research work. And it's a skill. It's a skill that I'm developing, and I'm very excited.
And, you know, one of the other things that has happened in Caribbean research is the evolution of the Caribbean research methodologies. I was at a conference, a seminar on Friday, in which Campbell and a group of people are working on things like Lyman as methodology. And I really want to think about, I mean, you talk about the power of the story. For me, the power of the story is really our Caribbeanness in the research. We tell our stories, but here they're using the Lyman as methodology and old talk as the method of data collection. So I would want you to think about how, you know, what spaces do you see from a Jamaican perspective in terms of how you can take the research forward? I think I may have lost you, Andrew.
I'm missing the last question. You have to repeat.
Yes. Okay, good. Yes. You heard me.
I'm back. Are you getting me?
I'm getting you now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was thinking about, I saw
Yes.
your excitement as I told you about Caribbean research methodologies and using
Oh, I want to be it. I want
Lyman
to
as
know about that.
methodology, Old Talk as method of data collection. And again, it's building on that storytelling. And I think as Caribbean researchers, we need to really accept what is uniquely ours, and telling stories is uniquely us.
Listen, I am excited when you talk about Lyman as methodology, because the truth is, the methodology we are using, there are tools given to us. They are from the dominant space. My work is about, as I said to you, my work is about challenging, disrupting, and subverting some of those oppressive systems. And now you say this to me, I'm just going to let you know anything you see about this, please send it my way so I could learn, because I can tell you something. I have been, and this is amazing, you say this, Joya. I have been owning, when I said owning, O-W-N-E and honing, H-O-N-E, both of my storytelling skills. And I am looking to do a work soon. I'm working on a piece, and I'm going to be definitely using how I tell stories and how we tell our stories. And as you said, these are legitimate methodology, but we haven't used them, because in the standard, remember, we go to these conferences, they are not our conferences.
Yeah.
Most of these are structured by white, powerful institutions that are not created for persons like ourselves. So when we go into their mold, we pour our research into their mold, and sometimes we struggle why our research seems so off, not realizing that we are trying to pour authentic, ancestral Caribbean epistemology, if I should use that word, into a mold that was not created for us. And so the mold is broken, it's burnt, it's out of shape. And so I'm excited. You literally just wake something inside of me about how do we go there.
Yes, and I will send you all the links, Andrew, when we are finished.
Please.
It really is that, this was our second conference, the Caribbean Research Methodologies Conference. And when I did my own research 20 years ago in New Zealand, of all places, at that time in the Caribbean, nobody would understand that collecting stories from teachers was a legitimate form of data collection. And so that narrative inquiry, even at that time, was really pushing the edge. But I'm happy to say that
yes.
we're at the point where there is a space, there are publications.
Yes.
And I think that as Caribbean researchers, whether we are in the Caribbean space or working with Caribbean people outside of the Caribbean space, that we need to give. And I mean, people have come to that awakening as you are, but because we're so isolated, that makes it difficult. But certainly the K-SIG is a space in which we can bring all those innovative ways to doing Caribbean research about Caribbean people. So that I am really happy to hear you say that you're excited about that. And